Yo, what's going on, good people? Welcome back to another video. Before we jump into this video, I had to switch up the setup around a little bit. I got the boom pod now, switched my monitors around. I was basically just bored and man, I need to trim, bro. I need to get that line fixed. I'm looking scraggly. Let me stop wasting y'all's time. Welcome back to another video. We're still breaking down all these Dynasty teams, and today we got a real special one. I mean real special. Very, very special. We got Sleeping Beauty herself, Princess Aurora. I think that was Sleeping Beauty's name. I really can't remember. But we're going to break down Jack's team, Sleeping Beauty. Can't wait to break this one down. My man Jack, shout out Jack if you're watching. You making the playoffs, buddy? You say you are. My boy Jack tells us every single day, bro. He's like, I'm going to make the playoffs. I mean, Jack's got confidence. That's what you need. I guess of all these teams, like before I even broke them down, they haven't sent me any messages like I'm gonna make the playoffs. But Jack, you got the heart of a lion, baby. I respect that. All right, so let's go ahead and decide if we think this Sleeping Beauty is gonna be in the playoffs. As always, don't forget, like and subscribe, and cue up this intro, baby. Let's get it.
I got them choppers, them AKs, and I leave your ass in that motherfucking ground. Leave you with doctor, leave you with no witness, I use a chopper. Leave you with no witness, I use a chopper.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's poppin'? Brand new whip just hopping in. I hope that wasn't as cringy as I think it was. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Before we queued up that Gasolina intro, I said that we were going to be breaking down Jack's team, Sleeping Beauty, Princess Aurora herself, and here it is. This is Jackson's team. So let's get this breakdown started. Just starting at the top, how we always do. Just another day in paradise. Jack's first quarterback on the board, Kirk Cousins. His other Superflex quarterback, Drew Lock. These are not the best quarterbacks, in my opinion, just right now, preseason. Kirk isn't a quarterback who's going to really give you a lot of good weeks back to back to back. I mean, his first game last year, he had, 8 attempts against the Falcons? The Vikings want to run the ball, and they want Kirk to be their game manager. Having Kirk as your QB1 is just kind of a weakness, in my opinion. Kirk's a good player. He's a good NFL quarterback. But when it comes to fantasy, Kirk doesn't always get it done. Just speaking on Drew Lock for a second. Drew Lock started the last 5 games of the season last year. And out of those 5 games, he was a quarterback 2, 3 of those times, and a quarterback 1 once. The other time, they played Kansas City. He was the 31st quarterback on the week, so he was next to last. As far as Drew Lock goes for me right now, I think that he has some intangibles, and I think that he has the makeup to be great. Denver has put weapons around him, so this will be the year where we see if Drew Lock is really that guy. He has the weapons around him, and he has a good offensive scheme. So for right now, I'm going to say I'm not a fan of Drew Lock, but looking at 2020, I'm hopeful that he can take the next step. And if he can, I mean, he could potentially be a better quarterback for you than Kirk Cousins. Your running back situation, Chris Carson, David Johnson. All right, let's take a second and look at these guys right here. They're not the sexiest picks. I don't see Chris Carson and David Johnson and just go. But these two guys, they have a lot of opportunity this year. Chris Carson was hurt last year, but reports are that he should be on track to be good for week 1. Okay. Chris Carson was a fantasy monster last year. Chris Carson gave you 7 RB1 weeks last year and 5 as the RB2. The other 4 games, week 2, he was the 31st running back. And one of those games he was hurt. Week 16, he went out. He was done. If Chris Carson comes back and is a part of the Seahawks running offense, I think that he can provide you almost the same output as he was last year as a hopeful RB1, RB2 guy each and every week. And the same goes for David Johnson. Houston brought him in. He's their go-to guy. They don't really have another running back. I mean, they gave David Johnson the money. They didn't bring him for no reason. So I think that your running backs, both Chris Carson and David Johnson, it's not pretty, but it's not terrible because I think both these guys have a lot of opportunity ahead of them. Your wide receivers, Emmanuel Sanders, he's the wide receiver 2, maybe even the 3rd or 4th option for the Saints. I'm not huge on Manny. Stephon Diggs has now switched teams and went to a quarterback who is inaccurate and has trouble getting receivers the ball. If you watch the Smash Gang Sports Top 12 running back rankings, you'll see that both me and Willie B are not in on Josh Allen at all. And if I'm not in on Josh Allen, I don't see how I can be in on Stephon Diggs. So, yeah, Stephon Diggs will have some good games, but is he going to be consistent and you're going to be happy with him? Probably not. Your tight end and Gerald Everett, looking, the second half of the season last year for the Rams, they really switched over to a lot of 2 tight end personnel. I don't know if they're going to do that again this year. I don't think they are. I think they're going to kind of go back to being more what they were, run the ball and wide receivers and not feature the tight ends as much. But, I mean, unless you have one of these top tier tight ends, then streaming and finding guys to plug and play it's just a part of fantasy football. Jordan Howard has now been traded to Miami. When it comes to Miami, I've been teetering off and on all off season. I love Brian Flores. I think he's an awesome head coach and that the guys in Miami really do want to play for him. But as far as the Miami team in 2020 goes, I'm not sure if they're going to be good. I mean, they have Fitzmagic still. They're going to be grooming Tua to take over and be the face of their franchise. They have a lot of their entire team is just younger guys that they're trying to build a foundation on and change, try to bring a new culture to Miami. So Jordan Howard is just kind of the same as your other 2 running backs for me in that sense. He might be consistent. He might not. He's going to have the opportunity. He's going to get the touches, but what is he going to do with those touches and how valuable are those Miami touches? I'm not happy with Jordan Howard. He's let me down at least 3 seasons now. So he has to prove something to me before I'm back in on Jordan Howard because I've given him too much love and he's returned nothing to me. David Montgomery, the news dropped yesterday that he was carted off the field with an injury. Those reports, luckily, were fake. He actually walked off on his own power and was listed with just a groin injury. I tried to send Jack a lowball offer yesterday for David Montgomery after I heard that it was a fake news report of him being carted off. When you hear that carted off thing, you instantly think season-ending surgery. But the Bears are hopeful to have David Montgomery back in 1 to 2 weeks and that groin injury won't affect him too much. But we are starting to see a trend with your running backs because these 4 running backs you have currently listed in your starting roster, I just think that they're all guys who are going to have the opportunity to be great, but are they actually going to cross that threshold and be, and just be good fantasy players? I don't have a lot of hope for a few of these guys. I don't have a lot of hope for Montgomery and Jordan Howard right now. Chris Carson's hope rests on the back of how good Seattle's offensive line is. I know he runs hard, but he is an injury-prone running back. And David Johnson's in a new scheme with a new regime. We just got to find out if he's the David Johnson of old. But don't get it wrong. All 4 of these guys are going to get their touches. We just got to see what they're going to do with them. The rest of your quarterback situation, you'll be able to maybe play Ryan Fitzpatrick a couple times this season, probably. Will Ryan Fitzpatrick give you a Fitzmagic 40-point week, or will he give you a Fitzsadrick dud week? Gardner Minsch, hey, Minshew Mania. I love the guy. I love the energy. I love the mullet. I love the BDE that I just love the BDE that Gardner Minshew brings every single day. He's just a fun guy. Gardner Minshew, fun guy. Jacksonville is going to give him the reins, and they're going to let him be Gardner this year, and he's the starting quarterback. So time to see if sophomore Gardner can give us some electricity. Like this video right now if you think Gardner Minshew is just the redneck version of Baker Mayfield. All right, looking at the rest of your bench, Latavius Murray, hey, him and Kamara, they split time heavily in New Orleans. So I think you'll probably be able to flex Latavius Murray, on a given week, depending on your injuries or bye weeks. Matt Breida, also in Miami, traded there. You got a grip on the Miami backfield, and you are picking up all the slack that I have for Miami and their offense because you seem to have a lot of confidence in them. Ronald Jones, hey, a lot of people are steadily rising on Ronald Jones. Is he finally going to put it all together and be consistent and a good fantasy option every single week in 2020? Maybe. I think that his offense is getting better and he'll have more opportunities to score. Ronald Jones, he could be a big sleeper. I ain't even gonna cap, Jack. The rest of this team is asshole casserole. This team right here, bruh, there ain't nothing I'm liking down here. Checking out the rest of your bench. Kenny Stills, N'Keal Harry, is he going to be the guy in New England? I don't like New England fantasy options in my own personal opinion, but things are changing. Tom's gone. Maybe N'Keal Harry becomes the wide receiver 1 in New England. Hunter Renfrow is going to be battling for more targets, especially with the guys that the Raiders have drafted and brought in. Although I did see a mean comeback route from Hunter Renfrow on Twitter yesterday, and this man broke it off so clean. He left that cornerback like 5 yards stumbling back there. I like Hunter Renfrow, but I don't know if I like Hunter Renfrow as a fantasy option. I really don't know, though. He could be like the next Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, PPR magnet. But, the difference with those guys is Hunter Renfrow has Derek Carr. Blech. Eric Ebron, he's going to have Big Ben this year. Big Ben likes to throw to the tight ends. And Eric Ebron is just a tight end touchdown machine. Can he continue that in Pittsburgh? Maybe. I think you're going to be streaming Eric Ebron, Everett, and even Ian Thomas, who I think is going to have a big season with Greg Olsen gone. I think Ian Thomas and Eric Ebron have a clear path, and I would expect these two guys to be better fantasy options than Gerald Everett. But you're not starting Gerald Everett. I mean, who knows? You might just have it set up like this. All right. So we're at the point now where I'm going to decide if Jack's going to make the playoffs. And before I tell you yes or no, I know that everyone wanted me to open Jack's team and just instantly be like, bleh, bleh, bleh. But honestly, it's not that bad. Before I start, criticizing and hating, I do not think this team will make the playoffs, no matter how much beauty sleep these players are getting. The options, the players aren't there for you to make the playoffs and win a championship. You got a lot of guys with opportunity. You got a lot of guys who can prove me wrong, and because I'm sleeping on most of your team. I mean, I'm sleep. I'm hibernating. I'm going to wake up from my hibernation and still say I do not think that this team is going to make the playoffs. But it's all love. Jack, you already know. Everybody drop your comments below if you think I got it wrong, if you think Jack's going to make the playoffs. I appreciate everybody checking out this video and just watching me decide if you think Jack is going to make these playoffs. Like I said, this roster just ain't going to cut it, Bubba. But hey, you're going to have a good season. You're going to get some wins. We're all going to get some wins. We're all going to get this bread. And I'm going to check you guys in the next video. Peace!
Rolling down the block with my niggas. Yeah, you know my nigga got them tricks. Dynasty, yeah, we got extensions. Please don't make me pull up in your city, yeah. Mr. Diamond.